Hi guys, Virginia here, and I'm back with another 12 by 12 process video for you today, and this one's for the Kitaholic Kits design team using the gorgeous September kit. So they're full of the lovely pink paisley, indigo and ivy collection, I believe it is, and I really didn't have an idea of what I was going to do for this layout when I came in. I had some photos so of Eddie playing at the beach, and there's some gorgeous kind of greys and blues in the photo, and then there's that, of course, a pop of pink from her little rash shirt and the yellow in the bucket, but everything else in the photo is really kind of nice and soft and like almost neutral colours, so they went really well with this kit, and because of the pop of pink and yellow it's going to help to make the photo stand out really well. So I didn't do a cut file this time. I thought let's just have a go with just pattern paper and scrapbook and embellishments. Surprise, surprise. And so I started flicking through the papers. I thought maybe I could do something with punches, but then I came across this pattern paper and I loved it. It's this gorgeous kind of soft distressed grey mixed with blue zigzag of like wood grain, and it just went beautifully with the photos. So I thought I'm going to do something with this, and I'm going to cut across a few of these zigzags. And at first I thought I would probably cut off maybe just a third of the pattern paper and then have it straight at the bottom, but I thought no, let's go something a little bit different and cut just a big zigzag chunk of it off. So that's what I did, and then I went across all the edges and just distressed it with my little distress tool just to kind of soften up those edges so they weren't as harsh. Yeah, so on the back of this pattern paper is these gorgeous blue and white florals, and of course I've got two sheets of this pattern paper. And way back when I got these kits at the beginning of the month, I actually cut apart, I won't say half, it's just under a half. I went through and fussy cut out a bunch of the flu, gosh, it's been a long day. It's been a long week. Blue florals from the other side of this pattern paper on my other sheet, and they've just kind of been sitting in my mix of die cuts and stuff waiting to be used, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of just focus on those blues and greys and stuff that are in the kit, because they go beautifully with the photos. So I've got them all ready, so that's super handy, and I'm just kind of placing them, tucking them in and underneath and on top of that zigzag of the pattern paper. Some of them are cut with a straight line, so that's kind of a perfect opportunity to tuck them underneath the pattern paper. And yeah, so I don't have a lot of them, but there are some there, so I'm just kind of stretching them out along the top and the bottom of this pattern paper, and I decided I wanted a little bit of lift in this paper, so I've just backed it with some adhesive foam, and I can pop it back in place. And then I'm going to kind of get on with the rest of my layout. I love this dark blue pattern paper. This is one of the 4x6 cut aparts from the Pocket Page kit, so I thought I'd utilise that and add that as just my single layer behind my photos, a nice dark pop of blue. You can't really tell that it's got florals on it, but it's a nice frame for those photos, so I'm just going to stack them together. Excuse me, and then I'm going to start flicking through the die cut pieces that I've got. I do find a few more florals, so I just kind of pop them to the side, and I'm just again like focusing on those neutral colours and those blues, so it ends up being a rather really kind of monochromatic layout, but I really don't mind that. It's actually, I find monochromatic layouts really easy to do for some reason. I don't know why. Especially when there is a lot of a similar colour in a singular collection. Yeah, so just flicking through, I find some frames, completely passing over those butterflies, and I'm just looking through some of the cut aparts. So I wanted like a nice dark pop of blue because those flowers are really dark blue. So I pull off a little dark blue label, and I just cut that out, and I'm going to add that in amongst my layers when I get there. I do have some other pieces that have a little bit of other colour, like that word beautiful that's in a grey, but that's okay, that ties in nicely with that wood grain pattern paper. And there is an offcut piece that has a pink and a blue swipe of paint. I cut that off a previous die cut piece, and I really didn't mind bringing in just a little touch of it, and you'll see later on when I bring in some enamel dots I also bring in some pink and green in those as well. Okay, so just kind of layering things up. I love frames behind photos and stuff. They're a great base for a cluster, or just a way to bring some colour and extend it out onto the page a bit. Eddie brought in some of her Sylvanian family toys. She'd managed to shove 2 little tiny teddy bears in a bookshelf and they were stuck, so I had to pull them out. And then a little drawer was stuck as well, so I had to fix that for her. So back to the layout, just kind of layering those pieces up. We've got that frame, and then we've got a nice tag with a little pop of gold on it. I've layered that exclusive die cut piece to the right of the photo, that dark blue tag, and then just layered in a grey little tab as well on top of that, which is nice. Yeah, I really like that little sentiment that's on that kind of circular banner piece. I'm not really sure what. It's a circle shape with a rectangle through it that I've just stuck down the bottom right of my photos. I really like the sentiment that was on that, so I've just popped that there. And now I'm just popping my flowers in place, making sure I like the balance and the way that they look. And I'm quite happy with that, so I'm not going to muck around too much more. I'm just going to go ahead and glue everything down. This layout was incredibly quick. I have left in the entire process of this video. That's how quick it was. Yeah, and I've only sped it up 3 times. I normally speed up my videos 3.5 times at least. And then I have to cut out a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, that shows you just how quick this was. I love layouts when they're super quick. Okay, so I'm just going ahead and gluing those flowers down. A couple of them I'm popping up on some adhesive foam squares just for a bit of dimension and amongst those florals. So this one here I'm going to pop up on some foam because it's going to overlap those photos as well. I haven't glued down my photo cluster yet, but I will get there. I'm just going to glue these flowers. I'm just popping a little bit of glue at the base of them where they're going to be directly underneath that pattern paper, and that's going to allow the edges of the flowers and the leaves to kind of curl up as well, give a bit of dimension in the layout. Okay, so I'm going to dismantle this. There's not a lot to it, so it's really easy to kind of put it back together, and I just start with my bottom and start working my way up. I can glue my photos together, a little bit of glue behind that tab to make sure that's going to stay, ATG tape on my tag, and just kind of build those layers back up super quickly. Tape on the back of my photos. I can add that dark blue label in place. Same as this one. The majority of that one does end up getting covered up, but that's okay. That's totally okay with me. I can put this little floral in place, and then I'm going to flip over my piece of pattern paper and pop ATG all over the back of this. Just to make sure it's going to stick onto the page. I can pop it back in place. Trim off any excess. And I've just got a white cardstock background. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning. It's kind of self-explanatory, isn't it? And then this little circular die cut piece I'm just going to pop up on some foam as well and pop that in place. I did look over to the right of me and saw that I had some of these puffy stickers. I completely forgot about them. So there's a little blue tab that's going to get layered up on top of those photos, just for another pop of a different kind of blue. The blue really matches well with the colour of the ocean in the photos, and then another lighter blue one just to the left, just to bring the clusters out just a little bit. And that ends up being a little kind of a shelf or a ledge for part of my title to sit on. So. Okay, so I'm bringing in some enamel dots, and at first I thought I was going to stick with just the light blue, but then I brought in some pink. I really love the pink, and although it's not the same colour as the pink in her shirt, it does, it's nice. It's not intrusive on the layout, but it does help to kind of tie in that pink, and then a little bit of green, just add to that. So I'm just kind of scattering around 3 of those enamel dots around the place, in those 3 colours. And I wanted to break up the stark white that's going on up at the top, so I've just kind of torn and cut off an edge of my pattern paper. And at first I thought I was going to bring in this white and blue floral paper, but it didn't have as much of an impact, if that makes sense, because there was so much white on the pattern paper. So I flipped it over and went for the same pattern that I've got in that pattern paper, that zigzag piece on the main part of my layout, and I like that. It's just kind of continuing that up to the top, and then I just moved a couple of enamel dots up there just to bring a little pop of colour. I'm going to bring some sprinkles of some gold liquid hex acrylic ink onto the layout, because there was a little bit of gold on that tag that's in the photo cluster. There's a kind of gold reinforcer on it, and I thought I would use some of these gold scripty words for my title, but instead I went for these gold foiled chipboard pieces from Pink Paisley, and then decided to use that beautiful die cut piece, and I'm just going to take to it with my scissors for a little bit and trim it down a little bit. Oftentimes you find you get a really chunky white border around scripty words like this that come in die cuts, and it was a little bit too intrusive, and it took away too much for me, so I'm just trimming that down, making the white border a little bit thinner, and that's going to sit to the left of my photo on that kind of empty spot we've got going on there. And like I said, that blue puffy sticker is going to end up being a shelf for those gold foiled chipboard words that will spell out the word you. So it's going to be beautiful you. I feel like I've used that title before. I feel like I've probably used it more than once, but I don't know. If it works, it works. Yeah, I apologise for the barking. That's I can't even blame it on my mother's dog this time. It's my dog. She's got a very big bark. She's a very big dog. And Eddie's gone to sort her out. So okay, so I fussy cut around all of that word beautiful. There is still a bit of a white border, but that's okay. You can hear Eddie yelling at the dog. I'm going to glue down those little chipboard stickers. I apologise for the child yelling. Yeah, so I'm just going to glue them down, glue the letter Y, and then I'm going to pop all of that die cut word beautiful up on foam, and then I'll glue that down. And then after that, that's pretty much it for my layout. So I hope you enjoyed the process. If you want to check out the kits, if there's any left, I'm not sure where there is, or anything else in the shop, I have heard a sneaky little whisper that there may be pre-orders for the new Cocoa Vanilla collection over at the shop, so if you're keen for that, make sure you pop on over and get in there and get that. Don't forget, we've also got the Kitaholic Kits Facebook group as well. Pop on over there and join us. There's lots of inspiration over there from the design team and others. But yeah, until next time, bye guys.